Hi everyone. So this week what I want to talk to you about is kind of a tricky topic. I guess that's kind of what I feel like I talk about a lot in my videos. So I want to talk about the idea of those days where it seems like you have to admit defeat, or that sometimes this thing of ours, this disorder, these tics, they just win. And I just want to talk about it because even for me, that's something, obviously I preach or talk a lot on these videos about how I never want to let it win. I never wanted to let it take me down or let it stop me from anything. And I wholeheartily believe that as the big picture. I will never ever let it stop me, or I would never let it stop me from doing anything I wanted to do. But there are those days, those bad days, where you have to just admit defeat, because sometimes our body, not sometimes actually, for those of us with Tourette syndrome, our body or our brain is in control. We are not in control of our body. And that's something that I think a lot of people outside of the Tourette syndrome world have a hard time wrapping their brain around. I know Tourette syndrome is a weird thing to try and comprehend and understand when you're not living with it. It's also a hard thing to try and comprehend and understand when you're also living with it, because even after 20 years of living with it, it just doesn't make, there are days where it just doesn't make sense that I don't get to decide what my body does. And that can be incredibly frustrating, especially on those bad days. And I know I don't talk about those a lot on here, but they do happen, whether it's my tics, whether it's my other long list of medical problems that I have. Sorry, my back itches. No matter what it is, there are those days where I have to give into it in a sense. And I know a lot of you probably have them as well. And that I just want to talk about it because sometimes it can get real annoying hearing somebody saying like, no, you power through it. It makes you stronger, all this stuff. And I believe that, don't get me wrong. I am a full believer in that. I think Tourette's helped make me who I am today. So, and I think that it has made me stronger. However, there's days where it tears me apart. There's days where all I do is cry. There's days where it just takes over completely. Every minute of my day is spent taking every muscle in my body is sore and it's hurting and I'm tired and I just want nothing to do with it. And there's those days where I just wish it would go away forever. I mean, most of the time I wish it would go away forever. I would never wish I never had it, only because like I said, I do believe in all the other stuff of making me stronger, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what this is about. This is about the idea that I don't want people to think that they do need to be okay all the time. And this is something I'm talking about because it's something that I have to deal with as well. This is something that I'm also trying to learn and teach myself. I'm trying to better myself this year and take a better look at me, and knowing when I do need to take a step back and say that it's okay, that my body needs to do this now. My body needs to rest now. My body needs to give in to it right now. Maybe I need to cry. Maybe I need to yell and scream and get it all out and just complain about it, because as much as a positive attitude as I have, it's still the most aggravating thing in the world to never know what your body's going to do next. And it's okay to be angry about it, and it's okay to be upset, and it's okay to be sad and confused and everything else that you might be feeling, especially at the beginning of a diagnosis. I just ask that you guys find ways to pick back up after that, whether it take a couple days, couple weeks, couple months, whatever that low period is. It's okay that it's happening, because not everything is rainbows and butterflies all the time for me. And I think a lot of people maybe think that on here. Not that anybody's ever said that, but I know that I do have it a more mild case than most people. And so I always want to make a point that I do this to spread just my story of Tourette syndrome and Tourette syndrome in general. But I also want to be very real with you guys, and accepting those defeated days are something that I have to learn too. So I am learning that along with you guys. If you're like me, where you want to be stronger than it, you want so badly to say like, no, I won't let this happen today. But the truth of the matter is we truly don't have a choice. Our body does what it wants to do, whether we like it or not. We all know that. Sometimes our voices do what they decide to do. It decides to do, whether we like it or not. And that's the way it is with Tourette syndrome. So I just want you to know that it's okay to not be okay sometimes, because that happens. It's just more important for you to find your way through that, whatever works best for you. Talking to somebody, finding help, whether that be a professional or a friend, a family member, whatever that is. I will gladly open my life to talking to you about it and trying my best to help if I can, or to just listen. Whether it's finding a sport to play, whether it's finding exercise or something to help. That's the more important thing, that after that dark period and that not okay period ends, that you find that. And I'm not trying to say that I'm not okay. I just want to be honest in the fact that there are days where I'm not. There are days where I just can't stand it and I can't take it anymore. But I always get to these better days, and I try to remind myself on those bad days, but that isn't really what you want to hear on the bad day. You want to hear, well, this day is going to make you stronger. You're going to think back and wonder how you ever did it. And I understand that that's true, but that's not always what somebody wants to hear. So this is also for those people dealing with, or I'm sorry, I don't want to say dealing with, being on the other side of that person, having that bad day and having that defeated day. Because when it comes down to it, sometimes it's just how it is and it's how it feels. And I just want to let you know that it does happen to me too. I'm going through it as well with you guys, trying to remind myself that I do have this disorder, whether I like it or not. So some days are harder than others, and it's okay to accept that. And I just hope that that's how you guys always feel. I don't want people to think that I'm always just this strong person and just pretend. I'm not pretending or anything like that. There's those weaker days, and I am learning to tell myself that that is okay as well, because that's also part of the whole process, being honest with yourself and everybody else around you. So I know this one was kind of like a little more somber of a topic, but I do think it's important because, sometimes people just need to hear that someone sees them and someone that it's okay not to be okay. I've said that probably 4 times already, but yeah, that's all I wanted to come on here and say this week. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. If you are having one of those bad weeks, I hope you guys get through it the best you can. Please keep commenting, subscribing, sharing the videos, and sharing your own content too, so that we can keep spreading awareness and make 2021 a big year. Bye, guys.